Okay, so salute to everyone out there. Real quick before we get into this immigration discussion. On my video about the Kroger shooting, I mentioned that Florida is a open carry state. Correction. Florida is not a open carry state. It's the state of stand your ground law, which if you have your gun on you and someone attacks you, you can use your gun, kill that person in self-defense. Secondly, since that viral video of Treasure going on Dr. Phil saying that she hates black people and that she's white, you have people going around saying YouTube content creators are putting out content that are making black people look bad. Now, if you know anything about my channel, I don't sit around all day waiting on viral videos so I can get views. Now, there are YouTubers in the black sector that do that. I'm not one of them, so that doesn't apply to me. However, if you are actually serious about black people putting out negative images, negative videos, negative commentary on black people, when are you going to take down World Star Hip Hop and DJ Vlad? I told you guys, you don't have nothing for me. Okay? So without any further ado, let's get into it.
We're riding with the Oaxaca Municipal Police right now so you can get a sight of really how big this caravan is. They're on top of this bridge in Niltepec because they want to catch rides to keep going. This is about a mile long all the way up there. 18-wheelers, oil tankers, buses as people try and make their way towards America, completely not deterred in any way by President Trump saying he's putting 5,200 troops on the border, or the fact that he says that he may change even birthright citizenship. And what's even more, guys, is that not one, but two more caravans have been inspired by the success in advance of this one. There is a large group battling on the Guatemala-Mexico border now with police trying to cross a river there, much like this one did. And a third one down in El Salvador making its way up to the Guatemala-Mexico border. They're going to join them. If you add those two together, they're a few thousand in numbers too. So it would appear this seems to be growing at this point, guys.
Wow. So the numbers are growing. They're not being deflected.
Yeah, Griff, we've interviewed so many people out here on the Fox Square today, and number one issue clearly is immigration for them and for these voters.
And thank you very much for giving us that unique point of view as you are there on.
More than 1,000 U.S. troops set to arrive at the southern border by the end of the day, which should be quite a thing. This after the president announced a plan, at the president's direction, to deploy more than 5,200 soldiers there. That's more than are deployed in Iraq and more than are deployed against the fight in ISIS. This border move is part of the campaign to paint the immigrants traveling in southern Mexico as a threat to our nation. It gives a show of force beginning today against the invading mass that's 1,000 miles away, traveling on foot with women and children, some seeking the asylum John mentioned from their home countries. But this move is little more than logistics support and, as mentioned, show, because the military cannot enforce immigration laws in any way at all. The military can't detain foreign migrants. No member of the military can even question them. They can't issue speeding tickets or stop anybody from smoking a joint on the street or enforce any domestic law.
When this caravan first started, the news said 7,000. Then a couple of days later, it jumped to 14,000. Now they're using the word mass. I told you it's going to be hundreds of thousands by the time it's said and done. As these people walk, I told you guys, these people are walking. If they can get a ride, they'll get a ride. If they can't, they'll walk until they can hitch a ride. They will walk until they can't walk anymore. That's how much it means to them to get to America, to survive. There is absolutely nothing back at home. Now, this is, in fact, an invasion. Anytime you leave your country in mass numbers like this and demand another country let you in, literally just walking over. Now, Trump is deploying 5,200 troops at the border, but they can't do anything but just stand there and just look mean, and they can't arrest anyone. They can't do anything but look, monitor. The Border Patrol does all the work. So the Border Patrol will be outnumbered. Many of people will cross. When they cross over, they get asylum, they get a lawyer. And the immigrants know that there's so many people, so many immigrants backed up in the U.S. immigration system. When they come over into America, it could be months or even years before they see an immigration judge, because it's that many undocumented immigrants. Millions, and more are coming, and they are going to continuously come as long as there are no repercussions. As long as these people can come over and get a job, they're going to continuously come. You have to cut off the money source. If you don't cut off the money source, then they're not going to stop coming. It's just that simple. You don't even have to put troops on the border. Word will get back to Mexico, hey, they're not hiring anymore. They have let all of the undocumented immigrants go. Central Americans traveling by foot all the way through Mexico, demanding America let them in. They are not turning around. They're saying, hey, nope, we're coming. We left everything at home. There is absolutely nothing back at home for us. There's nothing back at home. We're going that way. And Mexico isn't even giving them citizenship. They're not even helping them out. You hear all of these Mexican people, and they're always with their flags, and they're always talking about hip, hip, hooray, Mexico, la viva, Mexico, and all of this stuff. But their country isn't giving out citizenship either. So how can you come to America and point the finger? And this is what I don't understand, and I will never understand. It makes absolutely no sense. These Central American migrants are bypassing Mexico. They're like, no, I don't want to go to Mexico. Hell nah. That's a shithole too. I want to go to America. I want to go to America. That's where I want to go. And even if it means my death, I'm going to go to America. These people are risking their lives. And again, Americans, you have to understand how good you got it. Yeah, there are problems on top of problems on top of problems here in this country. However, you are not fleeing your home trying to go inside of another country because your country have failed. Now, Trump is trying to end citizenship birthright. I think that is a great idea. That is another policy I do agree with. These immigrants come over here and exploit the immigration laws. They come over here and they have these children, and if they get sent back, their children can't get sent back because they're citizens. No, you had those children. Those children came out of your womb. You take those children back over there with you. That's not our problem. I wasn't in the room when Jorge was bending you over. This is ridiculous. And speaking of Jorge, Juan, Julio, you notice the news never talk about them. They say women and children. No, there's women, men, and children. But they are going to do the Hispanic community like they did the black community. X the men out so they can work on the women and condition the women. And what I also find interesting is that all of this is going on before the midterms. All of this is going on before the midterms. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Democrats are behind it. However, those countries have collapsed. And would those people actually make that trip if it wasn't for their government telling them, hey, America is going to let you come? However, they have always, this isn't anything new. Latin countries have always did caravans going to America. Okay? And again, I can't go to your country and get on Section 8, get on welfare, get food stamps. I can't go to your border and demand citizenship. How is it that you believe you can do it here? You can't even explain that. I have yet to hear a undocumented immigrant explain that. Explain it where people can sympathize with you and say, okay, like we understand about poverty. We sympathize with you on that. We understand that. But how do you think you are supposed to go to another country through the immigration system illegally and treat it fairly when we can't do that? And then the immigrants from Central America don't even want to stay in Mexico. They're like, hell no, not at all. I don't want to be, I want to get out of Latin America. Those people, I told you, they're walking thousands of miles. And the caravans are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. People that are homeless or they are winos, drunks, they're living on the side of the road. They have nothing to do, nothing to live for. They can't find work. They're going to say, hey, might as well join the caravan. Let's all go. And sooner or later, that whole country is going to exploit the immigration laws, and this whole big America will be known as Mexico. It'll be back Mexico land. If the citizens and the government do not get serious about the situation, this is a big, gigantic, huge issue that the United States government need to get on top of. And terrorists, I do believe terrorists have came through that border also. I don't care what anyone says. Those borders are wide open. They have so many underground tunnels. The government is still finding them. And no, I'm not on this all-American tirade. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm stating is I can't go to your country and do the same exact thing. I cannot do that. Now the news is using the word mass. They're sending military to the border, but military can't do anything but look. These people are breaking down gates. I've seen videos of these people breaking down gates. Like, you're going to let me in. The Walking Dead. Literally, The Walking Dead. You're going to let us in here. Demanding America open their doors for them. Demanding. And when they get over here, they get a lawyer, they get Section 8, they get welfare, they get food stamps. Just stay on the Democrat plantation. That's why the Democrats are opening the borders and paying off people. Maxine Waters, she's a part of it also. Michael Myers herself. And selling black people, children, futures down the drain. This is pathetic. You look at the homeless in your downtown areas. You have homeless people all over your downtown area. They aren't even getting the help they need. You have a huge mental health issue out here also. That's not getting the help. This country is overwhelmed with its own problems and everyone else's problems. Mexico needs to find a way to fix Mexico problems. Honduras needs to find a way to fix Honduras problems. If your leaders wasn't in bed with America, this wouldn't be going on. And while the military is down there, they need to go over there and take it to those cartels and clean up those rape trees, cut down those rape trees that are along the border, where they tie their women up, immigrant women, tie them up to a tree, rape them, and then throw their underwear in the tree branch as like a souvenir. Google it, it's called rape tree. Nothing but a bunch of savages down there. So this is what you got crossing the border. I'm out. Peace.